Stephanie Hinman and Harry Phillips. Stephanie's going to actually read a prepared statement, and then for the next 15 or 20 minutes, we will actually entertain questions. So I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie.
All right. Thank you, Heather.
So you can stand right there. That'd be good.
Right here.
Right there.
Okay. This is written so I don't mess up. The Kalamazoo State Theatre is taking a pause to transition ownership and operations to a yet to be identified, likely nonprofit entity. The last event under the current private ownership model will be Almost Queen with special guest Lisa Can't Sing on November 23rd, 2024. After owning and operating the Kalamazoo State Theatre since 1985, Roger Hinman hopes the closure will be temporary and would like to identify a new steward capable of relaunching the Kalamazoo State Theatre by its 100th anniversary in July 2027. This decision has been made to allow for sustainable preservation and utilization of the historic performance venue for the next 100 years. For shows after November 23rd, unless otherwise posted, tickets will be refunded at the point of purchase. If you purchase in the box office, we will have extended hours to take care of refunds until December 5th. Please check our website, www.kazoostate.com. It's KAZOOSTATE.com for box office hours.
We'll take questions now.
Is there something that led to this? I mean, is it a change in people's habits or a change in the live music industry? Is there something that kind of spurred this decision?
No, I mean, the live music industry is always changing, right? We were really facing the inevitable. This is a really important building. We've done our best for the last 40 years, and to prepare for the next 100 really takes some strategic planning. It's bigger than one manager, one company. It really has a lot of opportunity that I think this will hopefully open some doors for this building and for the community.
So are you looking to sell the building, or will Hinman still own it and you're looking for an operator, or how's?
We'll see what happens. No, Hinman will not own it. But that's what this next year will help us learn, right?
You said you're preparing to face the inevitable. What is that?
Oh, just letting go of something we really love, you know? This building becomes a part of you, so it's really difficult. But again, like, I'm not gonna live forever, you know? But a structure, hopefully, will get this building in the right position so that the building will live beyond all of us.
What's been, I guess, the current struggles while you're essentially handing over the reins to someone else?
It's just, there's never a good time, you know? And now just seems to be the time to do it. So there are always struggles. There have been struggles well before my time too, especially, you know, during the pandemic, definitely struggles. And we did what we could to keep the building alive and still provide entertainment to the community. We do have our 100-year anniversary coming up. So, I know I mentioned it already, but that's gonna take some planning. While this is difficult news to deliver, I'm really excited about what the future can be for this space. I really, really am.
So I guess what's been the difficulty? Has it been getting plays or customers to come in since the pandemic?
Not plays necessarily. So our zone is really concerts, comedy, community rentals. So
it's the same challenge as any other business would go through, really, you know, and it's not any one thing. It's a combination.
mm-hmm.
You mentioned in the press release that you were hoping to partner with a nonprofit
I can't speak to that. I know we've been having conversations over, 40 years. But I really hope to have more conversations into the future.
Why a nonprofit as opposed to a company that has a footprint for success like Live Nation or AEG that can come in and run a venue and ramp up the
Ooh,
touring schedule?
that is a really good question. I can't speak to that so much, but I can speak to what I think, and I really hope the building can remain community focused. It really takes the community that makes this place work. We've put a lot of focus into the different genres of music that we try to bring and with our community partners. Because if we're going to bring entertainment to our community, we need to know what they want, right? So I'm trying to think of the first half of your question.
Why a nonprofit?
Why a nonprofit? Because, okay, so what I've found over my time is, especially through the League of Historic American Theaters, a lot of the buildings similar to ours are nonprofit. It's a big building, right? It's a big responsibility. Yes, they're larger, but we're really special. We are a historic, atmospheric Eberson theater. We are one of 17, maybe 18 left operating in the United States. It's a big deal, right? We don't know if it will be a nonprofit or a new nonprofit, a pre-existing nonprofit, or maybe some foundation. If you look at different models like the Embassy in Fort Wayne or the Tampa Theater in Tampa, Florida, or the Ryman, they're all different.
What's the strategy, Stephanie? And thank you for what you're doing. I've enjoyed working here and working with you for a while now, and you've done a great job.
Thank you.
Local treasure, it really, really is.
Thank you.
What's the thinking on stopping or pausing versus, we're to say, a restaurant or something else, keeping the lights on, keeping the heat on, and trying to plug forward, making it still a viable
Right.
place as opposed to stopping and trying to explain, show people when it's closed or whatever.
A lot of thought has been put into how to make both work, and the reality was we really need to pause and refocus. If we're trying to do too many things at once, it won't happen, and then another year goes by and another year goes by. So temporary pause.
How long do you have a goal? How long you want this to be temporary closure, pause?
A goal? Never, no. A goal. So we have the 100th anniversary, and I say we. I don't say we from a perspective of me, State Theater, Hinman, but as the community, right? Like we in this community, we have a 100-year anniversary coming up with a very important space. It's a nationally recognized building. So as fast as possible, I hope, but that's why we're pausing to focus on that.
So would you say at this time there's no necessary plans for the 100th anniversary because you are looking for, you hope to get to the 100th anniversary, you hope to have something, but there is no concrete, we're going to have something here for you guys to celebrate 100 years?
I wouldn't want to restrict that vision. Yeah. I feel like I'm talking too much.
No.
Okay.
No, all I was going to say, what we've talked about is, we'd love to reopen as quickly as possible, but it has to be done right. And that's the ultimate goal for the theater, is that we do it the right way with the right steward coming in, so that it can make another 100 years. One of the first things Stephanie said to me when I came to work here was how important and what a huge responsibility it is to have something that's been in the community for 90-something years. And that's always been a very important thing, an important vision here. So as much as we'd like to do it quickly, we want to do it right.
Mm-hmm.
You guys talked about just trying to preserve the building and the art that's in here. Just assuming maybe it might be some time down the road until you find a nonprofit or the right buyer. How are you guys going to go about just making sure everything inside stays maintained?
Oh, property management. And that's what we do. Yeah, well, it'll be locked and kept safe in the meantime.
Do you know, Stephanie, if the new arena that's being worked on, are there plans for them to hold concerts there as opposed to just sporting events and whatever else they're doing?
I'd rather somebody who's more familiar with the event center speak to the event center. But I know it will be like something we haven't seen before. Yeah. Their capacity is way larger than this. So, does that answer your question a little bit? Okay.
What's been your favorite memory?
Oh, they said I might get asked that question. There are too many, right? There are way too many. And then I'd have to categorize. I think the easiest one to say is 2014 Green Sky Bluegrass. They filmed it. It was 2 nights in a row, and actually they released that footage for the first time during the pandemic. And that was the first time I got to see it put together. That night was the first time a peer group of mine really created something that big. It was epic. What was your favorite?
So for me, some of you may know this, but I actually started at Channel 3. During college, I was working there part-time, and then worked there full-time after, but about my third week in, the assignment editor came to me and asked me what I knew about music because a reporter had called in sick and asked if I'd like to come to the State Theatre to interview Bruce Hornsby. So my first exposure to the theater was coming here to interview Bruce Hornsby in the green room, and I proceeded to get a part-time job here after that, ushering and doing security. So really a full circle moment for me to be able to come back, and an honor to come back and work here.
Is there anything that the community can do in this cause to support or, to help out, to support this cause, or just to help with the community engagement or excitement, or what's to help with the future sustainability?
I would say stay tuned, share the news, cultivate ideas, and see what could be possible over the next year. Definitely come to our final show, Almost Queen, with special guest Lisa Can't Sing, on November 23rd. And keep an eye on our website.
Well, I personally want to thank you for your support with the community and for something I'm trying to do, which is build community sense with Sounds of the Zoo. And I just want you to know how much that's meant to me and Harry, and everyone here has just been lovely in this history. And it's not. I think we're in for the fight, and I just want you to know how grateful. The buzz out there is everyone's sad but hopeful and grateful.
Thank you.
And I think that's the biggest thing. I know, we all hate to reminisce about the pandemic, but we went through something similar feeling-wise of what's going to happen. And what we learned from the community was all the sentiment towards the theater and how people didn't want it to go away and felt it was such a jewel. And I think if we just all share those thoughts and memories and make sure everyone knows how important, not just the theater, but in general, live music, small venues, the arts, the culture here in the community, how important it is to what we're trying to do and, the lifestyle we're trying to have for our residents here. Like, just keep sharing that. And hopefully, it happened in 1985, right? There was a miracle in 1985. The community rose up and said, save the state. It's another time for that.
What do you want this venue to be in the future? It started as vaudeville, all the way up to you had Chaperone here this past summer. I mean, that's a lot that's happening. What is the future? I mean, what can this space be?
What can this space be?
What can it be?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, honestly, it can be all of that. I mean, we talk all the time because we do, we've done tours here where people will come and we tell the history of the vaudeville and the movie house. But we also don't want to forget how much it has thrived as a live concert venue. It really changed its personality a little bit in the 80s. But it can be any of that with the right steward coming in and, the right direction.
And I envision what we've done and more.
Stephanie, what's your title? What's your title here at the theater?
Executive Director.
Sir, I didn't get your name, Harry.
Harry Phillips,
And what's your title?
Director of Marketing and Development.
Stephanie, you mentioned a little while ago that, there's never really a good time. I know production costs have been really high in the industry the last couple of years.
you know, industry-wide, the changes are understood, right? So we have those conversations with people, like we discuss them and we move on. The live music lives through all of that. Ticket sales are what they are. It's a bit of, you know, you get the best information that you can gather and then you do a gut check and it's a gamble, right? You do the best you can with the information you have, and it makes things risky, but it also makes them exciting, especially when those sales happen and people
Especially
are
when
really
you get a
excited.
Chapel Roan.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great show.
How long have both of you been with the theater?
I've been here for 5 years.
So I took on my role in April 2014.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Harry, aren't you playing in the final band? What does that mean for you?
Yeah, it's a bit of a surreal, kind of strange situation, but yes, my band will be playing that final show. Final for now.
Right.
For now. So yeah, and you know, quite honestly, I mean, it's always an honor to play this stage, regardless of what the situation is, and I've been fortunate to play it before. But it's also an honor to be a part of this. But it's been an honor to be a part of the last 5 years of, you know, working through some difficult times, but we have an amazing team here. It's one of the things that will be missed the most, I think, is the camaraderie and the team. We have an amazing team. And if you're ever here on a show night, you get to witness just how that team is able to pull stuff off. And it's been an honor to be a part of, you know, Roger's guidance and his stewardship in the Hinman Company and what they've done here. There's been a lot of great things that have happened in my time in the last 5 years, and even more before me. So feel very fortunate, and also very fortunate the community. I mean, we owe a lot of thanks to the community. They stepped up during the pandemic. Our State on the Street events have been amazing over the last 5 years. People just kept supporting it. We've had great support from community organizations like Discover Kalamazoo and Southwest Michigan First, and we just, hopefully we can, you know, have some more of that, you know, and you know, like Stephanie said, this is a temporary pause. The plan is to be back full force and doing even more of it.
Well, maybe that's a good segue to say, really get your local community supporting the local band. That's, you know what I mean? Like, that could be a really great, like, get people here to the show. Like, how they have to have the most energy, in my opinion, to get the larger groups to come, right? As you grow, you don't just turn into a Beyonce. You have to work your way up. And I just believe wholeheartedly we need both, right? There's a time and a place. So that could be a really great thing to tell everybody and your friends. Go, let's show that the support, so we know moving forward we really would create this wave, right? So that we're feeling the support through this shift.
What's the name of your band, Harry?
Lisa can't sing.
Hey, if you can give like a little preview of what do you
Yeah.
This is her press conference.
You're the artist.
Yeah. No, we were mostly a cover band when we started. We did put out our own CD a few years ago, but we're just, for this show, we're just bringing our best. We've got one original, but we're bringing our best covers. Our job here is to warm this crowd up for Almost Queen. For those of you who've seen them before, they've been in a few times. They are amazing. They put on a great show, high energy, and if you close your eyes, you'd swear you're listening to Queen. So we're just thrilled to be playing with them again. We played with them in 2021. And we're just, like I said, we're honored and excited to be doing it again.
How should people kind of set their expectations here? Because I'm seeing the tone kind of go from somber to hopeful, kind of bouncing back and forth here. I mean,
You're reading it right.
Yeah, it is somber.
We're kind of going in between writing a eulogy here and setting up for another chapter. So, you know, we have a lot of musical listeners. We have a lot of people who love the State Theater. How should they be setting their expectations for the future of the theater?
You're reading it right. I mean,
Yeah.
because this is not an easy thing, regardless of the hope that we have for the future and the planning that Stephanie's doing and what we're trying to accomplish. It's still a tough thing to put a pause on something. But the expectation is, as Stephanie said, at the latest, to have our 100-year anniversary going. So, you know, it's there's too much passion with this team and with Stephanie. I've worked with Stephanie for 5 years. There's too much passion here and care for this place to not have that kind of hope and excitement.
So you can at least promise people that you're not going to go down fight.
Oh,
Right.
we've been fighting for years, you know, and
Yeah.
I think you talk to any business that is out there, it's never easy. There's always a fight. There's always some challenge that you're going through. We're no different, just a little more public right now.
What are the biggest challenges right now of running a place like this? I mean, there's the obvious COVID and everything else, but have artist prices skyrocketed? Are people not going to concerts as much? What are the challenges across the industry, not just here in this business?
Programming.
Yeah, programming.
Programming.
Programming's always a challenge. I have a better answer, but I would need some time to think about a really good, concise answer. The challenges are kind of always what they are, though. You know, it's I spoke to it a little bit about you want to find the right act for your community. You hope people will be interested in what you select, and you hope those ticket sales happen. And the industry is constantly changing, so I don't want to speak to that as specific to this point in time. But that's how it ebbs and flows all the time.
I know it's surprising sometimes. The show Saturday night was unbelievable. Some of the most talented people in the world, and 600 people or whatever show up. And yet I know you hope more. I was working that night. You hope there's more. I've seen
Yeah.
Patty Griffin before, and she has sold out much larger quick, but it's been a while, and she's older and all that. So I'm sure it's a crapshoot trying to determine how many tickets will be sold.
So that's a question I get a lot. How do you determine what a successful event is, right? A successful event, it packs the house and everybody's having a great time and they leave and everybody's safe and happy. And, you know, that moment when the theater goes dark right before the artist comes on stage and the crowd is so pumped for them to begin, right? That's success. But then we've had events such as what you're describing, and you're like, why did they miss out on this amazing performance? Because the performance is amazing, right? I repeat the word, but so was it successful? Yeah, because it was excellent. And the people, while there were fewer, had a great memory creating moment with that artist. And something that's really special about this room is the intimacy you get in a space of this size, the energy that you feel in this historic room. And I mean, if I were on stage right now, I probably could be speaking to you just as I am at this level, because the acoustics in this room are so great. Every historic room brags about their acoustics, but it's because it's true.
And it's almost the same answer for what you asked before. You know, there's a lot of different ways to measure success in a show. You know, because for the people that were there on Saturday, they loved that show. I mean, as soon as they walked out on stage, the energy in the room was great. And it's the same thing for what the challenges are. There's not one thing. There's a lot of things that, you know, are challenges that cause it. But I will tell you, too, these artists, we had a comedian in on Friday, Mark Norman. He just got off the road, hadn't even been to his hotel, walked out on the stage and just went, oh, this is beautiful. Tell me about it. How old, right? And we get a lot of that, too. And that becomes success for us, right? When we have artists that have played all over the world, all over the country, that love this space. That's success.
We're going to take one more question and then we're going to wrap up. Anybody?
Say just as someone who's new to the area, you mentioned, you know, trying to find artists that resonate with the community. In your experience, what like types of genre of music has that been that seems to really draw in the big crowds?
Ooh. Across the board, right? So, rock, country, bluegrass, all bluegrass, R&B, comedy, indie rock. I could probably keep going. Yeah, and
Comedy in particular lately
comedy has been
huge
huge
lately. I mean, it tells you a lot, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
all for the opportunity to share what's going on.
Thank you all. If you need photos or anything, or any additional information, you know how to reach us, and we'll make sure that you get what you need.
Thank you. You too.
are you doing your show?
No,
Okay. Leave
not?
before I ask you to ask
we
my
leave. Okay.
For you. I'll stay. You can go ahead and do what you need to do.
I'm gonna grab my water bottle and
Okay.
my Kleenex. Thanks.